Human trafficking is modern day slavery. We have to call it what it is. It was Abraham Lincoln who said, if slavery is not wrong, nothing is wrong. So the question might be, how much of a problem is human trafficking in this region, in the Caribbean, in the places that we love and call home, for people living in the Caribbean? The leaders of the country in this region are coming to the realization that human trafficking is an act described by the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, the UNODC, as a crime against humanity. It is a scourge that is rearing its ugly head in the region, and the university community certainly has a responsibility, as well as practitioners, social work practitioners, to be at the forefront of efforts to limit the impact of such activities on the citizenry in the region. And I'll spend the next few minutes just talking about the scourge of human trafficking, identifying some of the research arguments, and offering up some suggestions. None of them originating with me, but from sources suggesting what faculty members and practitioners can do in the fight against human trafficking. definitely need a working definition of human trafficking, and the UNODC, the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, describe human trafficking as trafficking in persons that involves the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of such persons by means of threat or the use of force or other forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, of deception, and of course the abuse of power. Using one's position of vulnerability or of giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person for the express purpose of exploitation. So the critical thing here is the force, the fraud, the deception, and the intentionality, purpose of exploitation. The group Stop Traffic Fashion, STF, described human trafficking as the fastest growing form of international crime and the second largest source of income for organized crime, surpassing even the drug trade. So there is criminality as an element of human. Sister out in Barbados, Marissa Thomas, who is the program coordinator for, I meant Trinidad, who is the coordinator for Trinidad at the Caribbean Vulnerable Communities Coalition. The sister said that trafficking is a very real phenomenon in the Caribbean. It is fueled by the feminization of poverty, gender-based violence, and aspiration and hope of a better life. Also, it is often facilitated by corrupt immigration and police officers and other intermediaries across the region. So, according to Marissa Thomas, human trafficking is a serious problem that is violence-based, and it preys upon the aspiration of the people in the region. I think she mentioned the feminization of poverty. So we'll see this term creeping in here as a critical part of the consideration for focus the issue of poverty. Because if more people had means, then less people would be inclined to go after these sweet deals, these deals that seem almost impossible, and they are impossible. But when people are poor and desperate, they'll clutch at that straw. They'll try to do anything to improve their circumstances. Over in Barbados is described as a haven for women who are the victim of trafficking. And in the Dominican Republic, child sex tourism, they say, is a lucrative industry. It's sickening to think that tourists travel to island destinations to engage in pedophilia. But according to this group here, MNI, that is the reality. want to just talk a little about the ranking, the ranking system, the tier 1 rank countries whose government, they say, comply with TVPA's minimum standard for the elimination of trafficking in persons. And in the Americas, we have the usual suspect. United States and Canada are doing well. The only two other countries in the Americas that meet the tier 1 qualification is Nicaragua and Colombia. That might surprise some, and for others they expected it, but only Nicaragua and Colombia of the 33 countries beside the United States and Canada. So we have a lot of work to do in the Caribbean area to move to that tier system. Then the tier 2 countries do not fully comply with TVPA minimum standard, but they're making efforts. And Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, Curacao, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Honduras, Mexico, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines are countries in the Americas, in the Caribbean Basin region, that meet the two-tier system. And this is out of a total of 94 countries. And then the two-tier watch countries, Barbados and the Bahamas, Haiti and Venezuela and Suriname are a part of this group. Jamaica also used to be part of this group, but got promoted this year in this report to two-tier, and they're not on the watch list, which is almost comical when one considers what it takes to move from two-tier watch to two-tier. And then finally at the bottom. So we've established that there is human trafficking in the area, and for some people there's a serious problem. Like, some governments try to play this down and pretend as if their countries do not have a serious problem. So just some ideas about preventing human trafficking. The group PreventHumanTrafficking.org talk about rapid report and response, advocacy for victims, identifying the source and the root cause of the activities, think poverty. The same group then suggests that rapid use of technology to get the message out about the issue, such as unsafe migration, poverty, globalization, wars, and economics would be critical. And I encourage us to think of Occupy, the group Occupy Wall Street that came to prominence a couple of years ago, and how they use social media, especially Twitter, to get information out. Think of then the U.S. State Department offers up a list of 20 things that can be done to combat human trafficking, and this list, I just want to suggest that it's the idea of how you operationalize will depend on your circumstances and what's happening in your neck of the woods, so to speak. My suggestion is this list of 20 things. Many of them can be easily converted into practice policy ideas, but the people in the Caribbean have to use their creativity and know-how. The saying in Jamaica, Tony Hannah make fashion. Translation, use opportunities to be creative. So the list that will follow, the list includes things like resource centers, just calling, learning about red flag, being a conscientious consumer, joining or starting a anti-trafficking coalition using just grassroots strategies, volunteering to do outreach, host an awareness event, encourage local schools to partner. set up Google Alert to receive current human trafficking news, start or sign a human trafficking petition. Students can take action on the campus, businesses can provide opportunities, law enforcement can join with other task force, mental health or medical providers can extend low cost or free services. Attorneys can look for signs, learn about human trafficking, assist anti-trafficking and NGOs. So a lot that's being suggested, 20 points. Look for ways to operationalize locally. Turn your hand and make fashion. Look for opportunities to do a good job.
Government shot in Trenchtown over observing the hypocrites mingling with the good people we meet. Good friends we have, good friends we've lost. This great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I say. No woman, no cry.
have to mention this hero or heroine coming out of the tip report, the latest tip report, 2013 tip report. Simona Brooms from Guyana, described as a courageous leader in assisting human trafficking victims and raising awareness about human trafficking in her home country. She started an organization that is a volunteer membership and advocacy organization to empower women minors and to address the economic discrimination and the physical intimidation that women minors face. Check out her interview on YouTube. The final thing I want to mention is that it's not hopeless. Here's a quote from Alex Steffen. We get so little news about the developing world that we often forget that there are literally millions of people out there struggling to change things to be fairer, freer, more democratic, and less corrupt. That is so true. People are out there fighting the struggle to make things better, and there are some TED Talk links. There are 7 TED Talk videos about fighting human trafficking. I have the URL listed here. Strongly encourage visiting, and if you're not into TED Talk, then this is an opportunity to hear smart people tackle serious problems and talk about solutions. TED Talk, 7 links for 7 TED Talk fighting human trafficking. Peace.
Yes, it will. Oh, yes, it will. Listen, baby.